Hey, everybody. We're live here. This is the first time we're doing a Things of Gold live podcast. Very excited to be here today. How are you doing, Megan?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here with you, Ryan, and talk about this album.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, for anybody who's not sure what they clicked on based on the thumbnail, or if you're listening or you're just stumbling in, we are doing a full listen of Snarky Puppy's album, Culcha Vulcha. Their 2016 release won a Grammy and everything. Basically, we are 4 episodes into our 12 episode first season of this podcast chronicling Snarky Puppy's live sound. And our first 4 episodes were fall 2015. That kind of last days of the We Like It Here era, very improvisational, whatever. And at the end of that, a week after episode 4's show, which actually just came out today, so go check that out after this, of course. The band went into the studio. They recorded their first proper studio album in 8 years. All the ones in between had been the live in studio format that they have become so well known for. But of course, this is what it would be. Culcha Vulcha, a very, very interesting album, new sound for the band, going in new directions, and would go in new directions live. So we will see that unfold over the next 4 episodes in the series. So those are coming up. But of course, since you have not heard this album before,
No.
figured this would be a really fun idea to do, get some people involved, come and share their thoughts on the album as well. So this is going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Can I tell you something, Ryan?
Absolutely, you can.
I really like to say Culcha Vulcha.
It's a fun thing to say. I don't know exactly what it
Culcha
means or
Vulcha.
what
Yeah,
some of
what
the
is it?
words mean, but I don't know.
We don't
If you
know. We don't
Google
know what
Culture
this
Vulture,
means.
if you Google
What comes
Culture
up?
Vulture, the only thing that comes up is this album. So
It's singular, I
yeah.
guess. But
Well, I
it's
mean,
really fun
it's
to say.
yeah, it could be something in passing. Like, the song Lingus is named after the airline Aer Lingus, because Michael wrote the song while he was on an Aer Lingus flight.
I
Like,
didn't
so
know
there's,
that.
yeah, so there's stuff like that. Um,
Culcha
but yeah,
Vulcha. I'm curious.
Culture
Well,
Vulture.
next time I get to meet Michael, because I did get to meet him very briefly at the Beacon Show, next time I'm going to ask him what Culcha Vulcha means.
That's a fantastic idea. I did just realize this is
Yeah,
our first bit of content that we're putting out that is recorded after you've seen Snarky Puppy live. So that's pretty cool.
I know. Should I talk about it now or should we save it for episode 5?
Let's save it for episode
Let's
5.
save
We'll save
it.
let's save it
Okay.
for the
Okay.
pod. But
I
that's
like that.
coming up.
Yeah, I can't
So
wait to talk about that. It was
yeah,
amazing.
it's gonna be awesome. So the cool thing about Culture Vulture, first of all, it was the Snarky Puppy's third Grammy win, but their first one that was just them. So they won a Grammy in
Mm.
2013 for their performance of Something with Lala Hathaway. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I'm sorry if I'm not. And their second Grammy was won in 2015, I believe, where for their album Silva with the Metropole Orchestre. So this is their first Grammy win. That's just Snarky Puppy, and of course, they have won 2 more times since, which is pretty cool for Live at the Royal Albert Hall and most recently Empire Central. So that bit of housekeeping out of the way. There is a crazy band lineup, for this album. There's 20 people credited as playing on this record. This is the last time that Sput and Corey Henry were on a Snarky Puppy release. We see people like Zach Brock and Bobby Sparks, who had been on older albums like Bring Us the Bright and Tell Your Friends, and then kind of left the band for a few years. They're coming back for this album, and so 20 people. That's a
That's
lot.
amazing.
It's a
It's a
lot of people.
lot of musicians.
Yeah,
It's a lot of musicians. Yeah.
and
They're a
interesting.
machine, though.
Yes. And interesting how they handle their first album where they're bringing multiple drummers into the studio. All the previous ones had either only Sput or, in the case of We Like It Here, only Larnell. We have Larnell, JT, and Sput on this album, 2 of them on each song, playing
Wow.
at once. And so they kind of refine that going into Immigrants and Empire Central. But we will talk about that in 4 episodes when we do an Immigrants Live reaction.
Oh, we're doing that?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Okay, I guess we will. No,
It's
I'm
going to be
excited.
fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
This is how
Well,
Ryan tells me we're gonna do things. He just,
it's just like
pops it
live. We're like,
live.
yeah,
Yeah, "Guess
this
what
is
you're
what we're
doing."
going to do.
Okay.
Well, we're going to bring our first song on here, which is Tarova. I included some nice little statistics on this graphic here. Of course, we're just going to run through before we dive into the song. This is one of the most commonly played songs on the album. It was debuted on 12/31/15. Fun fact, Megan, that is one of the couple of times that Snarky Puppy has played late night shows around the Fish New Year's run in New York.
No way.
And they were scheduled to do one on January 1st, 2022, before that run got postponed. So I really hope that this happens
think
again.
maybe? That would be so fun.
It would be really cool. But so this was
Yeah.
this was debuted at that show. It has been played 149 times, and most recently at my first show in Buffalo last month, April 6th, 2023. Of course, all of this data that I'm spouting might not be totally accurate. I'm getting it from setlist.fm, which is the most accurate place to get this kind of information. So obviously there are a few things here and there missing. So these numbers might not be totally accurate, but it gives a picture.
Yeah, good disclaimer. I think that's important.
Yes, and we can see the band lineup for this song. So interesting also as well. Everyone is kind of all over the place. Like there are some songs with 15 people, some songs with only like 8 or 9. What's interesting is that Sean Martin and Chris McQueen both credited on the album. McQueen is only credited on one song on the album, and Sean is not credited on anything except for bonus track Hefe, which is a great Mark Lettieri tune. So interesting to look at. But
So why do you think that is?
I'm sure that's just the way the studio tracks, worked out. You're getting a lot of people in a studio, and I'm sure they were very involved in the process. But some parts are going to end up getting cut with that many. So, they definitely contribute to them live. I'll tell you that. So, without further ado, let's listen to our first song here.
Let's do
dive
it.
in. Here's Tarova. Great groove in this one.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. What's cool is how many different layers of music there are.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. fun.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, right?
Oh, cool ending. That was
So,
cool.
initial thoughts on the song.
Okay, so like you were saying, really, really textured and layered. Like it's interesting. I haven't listened to as much studio Snarky Puppy. Most of the stuff I'm listening to is live. And yeah, there's just like a crispness and a cleanness to this that's really cool. Super playful. There's almost like a Broadway vibe in the middle of it that I really liked. When they're kind of like swelling and building in this kind of like really like, I don't know, almost like really playful way. And I love the kind of monster sound at the ending. That's
Yeah.
really fun.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I also, I've listened to some of the stuff on this album like once or twice before. Like I'm not super familiar with the studio versions of these songs. Like I've heard them live a ton of times. So this is also kind of a reaction for me in a different way where I know the songs, but I don't really know how they're going to sound as well on this. So I really like that mini Moog solo from Bobby here.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like he's got some sort of a wah on it at one point. We'll hear a lot of whammy clav work from him that'll kind of utilize that kind of sound as we move later into the band's live career. But that was, it's amazing hearing how this works out and the benefit that they get of being able to overdub stuff versus just performing live in a room and picking the best take. So that's also the difference between hearing some of the older studio stuff versus this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's fun to hear how different they sound in the studio. They sound really different.
Yeah. And also interesting to note about this song, it was played like that. And then in late 2018, Michael came up with a completely different arrangement to the song with like a different intro that goes like a back and forth between talk box and organ. So there's a lot more talk box in the new arrangement. Different breakdown, like it's a whole nother thing. So we'll hear that as we get later on, which is really cool as well.
That's fun.
Yes. So let's move on to our second song.
That one. What's the next one? I'm excited.
This is called Semenchi, I believe is the proper pronunciation. We are getting into the very world music era of Michael League, which kind of starts with this album, a lot of it on immigrants as well. So excited to hear what you think of this. It's a very different vibe from We Like It Here and some of the more previous albums that we've heard from them. This one's very horn based. Also one of the most common tunes from this album, debuted March 9th, 2016, played 129 times, most recently on April 2nd, 2023. So without further ado, let's jump into Semenchi.
Flute?
Yeah. It's kind of like a Tio Macaco-ish.
Yeah. violin.
Yeah.
What was that?
Brock.
Zach Brock. Oh God, he's so good.
Cool. You can hear Michael's mellotron doubling all the flute parts. That gives them some kind of synthy thing.
Wow. This is cool.
More mellow vibe here.
Yeah.
Bass has a really cool sound to it here.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's kind of muted.
Yeah, it does sound like far away almost.
Something.
Is that Maz on the trumpet? What do you think?
That's Jay. Jay Jennings. Yeah, we got it.
Oh, I see it now. Solo.
Oh, there's the violin on there again.
Is the bass making that sound?
Oh, in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. That's an awesome ending.
Oh, I like the ending to that. It sounds like there's, like, birds flocking everywhere, and then there's, like,
Yeah.
some, like, ominous thing happening underneath. It's, like, it's kinda trippy. I like that.
What's really cool is that when I when I was copying to make these graphics and I was copying, who played what from the liner notes, it was interesting to look at that Michael was the only guitar on this song. He played a nylon acoustic guitar. And
Oh,
so no
wow.
Mark, no Chris, no Bob, just Michael. But the coolest thing listening back is how you can hear like there's like Michael, electric bass, nylon string guitar, and mellotron. It's like, okay, is he just playing 3 instruments to add like layers, and you're maybe not going to be able to hear them, but you can hear him playing the guitar and the
Mhm.
mellotron doubling the flute part for the whole song sounded so cool. Because I was listening at the beginning, I was like, no one's credited as like a synth part, but it sounds like there's something synthetic playing along with the flute. Like, I wonder what
Yeah.
that is. And then I was like, oh, that's the mellotron. That's awesome.
What
I
is a
don't know.
mellotron?
So a mellotron is like it's like synth strings basically. It's at the beginning of Strawberry Fields Forever. Think of that.
Yeah.
Like so that's a mellotron.
Oh,
And
that's
so it
so
kind of
cool.
has that sound. It used to be like a giant thing with like a tape recorded like string part in it. Now obviously it's digital. But that's the sound of it. Thank you, Tom,
Oh,
for
that's so
the
cool.
thing. It gives me such big orchestra infused with jazzy contemporary Latin music vibes. Dig it. So do I.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, I was really curious about Michael's influences for this record because it sounds so much different than the
Yeah.
stuff they've been playing before. Like it's so much less funky. It's so much more, yeah, Latin-y, jazzy, orchestra, and it's just so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like the clapping percussion. There's just like this like kind of like clapping sound that's like it's almost like it's not like a deep sound. It's like a more of like a surface sound that
Mhm.
adds this like kind of like intensity to it. And then there's that, like, cool percussion breakdown, and that mellow section, what that we were commenting on sounds like there's, like, a train coming through. It's just, like,
Mm.
really, like, kind of desolate, and I don't know, I really liked it. What is a
Yeah.
trap set?
A trap set? I think it's just like a
Yeah,
small drum set.
like a small one?
I think so. A trap set. It's just a different kind of drum set.
Yeah.
Kind of more of a percussion thing. Yeah, it's really cool seeing the world music side of this for a lot of this album. Of course, there is one coming up in a couple of tracks. That's that very classic Snarky Puppy funkiness that you're going to very much
Oh,
love. But
good.
let's
Oh,
move
good.
on to number 3 here. We've got our first non-Michael League tune. We've got Gemini, written by Justin Stanton, of
I'm a
course.
Gemini.
Oh, well, there you go. You're
Yeah.
gonna like this song then.
Yeah,
Also
I
interesting
bet.
to note is how many less people are on this song. Very minimalist sound to this one. Much smaller roster. The guitar player's back. But this one has been
Oh,
played
yeah.
84 times live by the band. Debuted May 19th, 2016, and most recently played at last year's Ground Up Festival, 5/7/22. So it's been missing for a little while.
Yeah.
So let's dive into Gemini.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah, it's really good. It's the closest thing a Snarky Puppy song has to vocals.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it.
I mean, it is
right?
vocals,
Is it
but like
is
no
Maz?
actual words. Maz, yeah.
Maz.
bass clarinet.
That's cool. Sing it, Ryan. I like how it's like a little dissonant in places.
Yeah.
Like off. Can't sleep on these endings. They really are good.
Yeah. You also can never sleep on a Justin Stanton song because
No, I think that's my favorite
they're all
that we've
bangers.
heard. I
Yeah.
think that's my favorite we've heard so far. Yeah.
Wait
it's
until
just
you
so,
hear
like,
this one.
ugh.
Wait until you hear this one live. Like that middle section with all the weird sound
Yeah.
effects. Like they'll stretch that out for a few minutes and get weird with it. And then
love
the
that.
ending part has a solo in the live versions. Like kind of when they get into that uplifting
Mhm.
zone, it can get really, really cool.
Yeah, the rhythm section, the drum beat and the bass of that is just so good. It's just like
Mhm.
this kind of consistent, just like kind of driving along. And there's such like a melancholy, like ethereal vibe to it. It's a vibey song. I like that one a lot.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this one.
Yeah.
Justin Stanton delivers again, as
Yeah.
always.
So good.
Well, we're gonna move on now to one that is definitely more of a classic Snarky Puppy vibe. Grown folks here, of course, got a much bigger lineup on this one. I think I had to shrink the font size a little bit to fit it all on one page. But we've got two sax solos on this. We've got a Chris Bullock affected sax solo and a Bob Reynolds clean solo. So I know you're excited about that. Anyone curious to hear more about Megan joining the Bob Reynolds fan club? You guys should listen to episode 4 that came out today.
Oh my God. I am so into Bob Reynolds.
Yeah, it's basically just a 45-minute episode where we fangirl over Bob and Sput. But anyway,
oh my God. Bob
Grown
is so
Folks
amazing.
debuted on Jam Cruise actually on 1/9/16.
Really?
Yeah. And played 141 times, but has not been played since February 4th, 2023 at Ground Up Festival. There was a long gap when Empire Central came out. There was a long gap with no Culcha Vulcha songs from like the middle of last July until February. There were none played, which is weird because they were in very heavy rotation before. But without further ado, let's get into Grown Folks.
Let's do it.
sounds so different in the studio.
I know, right? They're so good at those drops. I like this part.
That's Bob.
Yeah. He just has the cleanest tone.
It's so good. I love the swing of this groove.
Yeah.
Now there's Boa.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Sounds so crunchy.
It's got a fuzz and it sounds like an octave pedal on there. dog is not part of the song. Oh.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I didn't expect the organ in there. Okay, Sean's not credited, but that's Talkbot.
It has to be, right? No, it has to be. Party music. Oh man, that's a good ending. Yeah, I like that though.
I want my Sean Martin credit on this song.
Yeah, that's
that has to be
weird.
him, right? Like
It has
that
to
doesn't
be.
sound like piccolo bass, which is credited as the third solo.
No, I think you need to bring this up.
Yeah.
With
We
Eric
need
and
to
ground
contact
up.
some people about this.
We've
This
found
is nonsense.
discrepancy.
But man, I love this song.
This song is awesome. Yeah, it's so fun. It's just like super jazzy, and that juxtaposition between that like clean Bob Reynolds solo and then the like really fuzzy, crunchy Bullock solo is just like, oh, it's so nice how they like kind of play against each other.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It gets in such a good groove too. By the end, it's just like swinging, just like party music.
Wait
just
until
good
you hear some live versions. We've got a bonus episode,
Oh, I bet
a
that's
bonus
so
track of
fun.
this song from episode 6. That I mean, oh, there's some really, really cool versions of this song. I'll say that, and I'm very excited for you to hear them.
I'm
but yeah,
excited for them too.
This one is probably that's a lie. It's not my favorite song on the album. This is probably my second favorite song on the album. It was my favorite song for a while until I heard a different song, which is the last song that we're gonna listen to today.
Okay.
But that one became my favorite.
You know what's really funny though is when I listen to this right now, because I've watched a lot of videos of them, I can see Michael League, like how he like dances while he plays. Like I picture that in my head while I'm listening. I could just like imagine him like like just like bending over at the waist. Like it's great.
There's one I'll send you after of this song that he has some pretty great facial expressions during. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Next up, we've got Beatbox here. Again, another very small lineup and a song with no solo. So interesting to note.
That's different.
Yes, it is. It's quite different. But this one more mellow kind of vibe here. I'm curious. I don't know if I've ever actually heard the studio version of this one. This is, of course, a Chris Bullock composition, rare one from him. Debuted May 10th, 2016. Played 72 times, but not since April 30th, 2022. So kind of fallen out of rotation a little bit. But this one was tapped as a show opener for a lot of its plays. I think a nice way, similar to Kite, kind of ease in.
I like that.
Let's do it.
pretty.
Also to note that Bullock is credited on keys on this song. A lot of cool synth textures here.
Yeah, it's really hypnotic. Like growing.
Yeah. Definitely some weird textures happening.
Yeah, I like it. It has like a trip hop feeling to it, almost like.
That's cool.
That is cool. It's really squishy at the end there. It's really like electronic.
I love that. Yeah, I love that profit patch that Justin uses at that part. Really cool.
Sounds really cool. You know, all these songs are so different from each other.
Yeah, really wide
Surprising me.
range of sound.
Yeah.
On this album. Very cool. Yeah, that's a great tune. Maz usually ends up taking a solo on that one, on that kind of back half, on that, over that, if you will. But yeah, I love that one.
Live.
I'm curious in the liner notes, you know, on every other track, Michael is very detailed about what percussion instruments they all play, but this one Nate's just credited as percussion. I wonder why. Wonder why. Well, our next track, again, that dog is not part of the album, as much as it would kind of fit in certain parts of it. Next up, we have Go Here. You have heard this one before. This was one of the few songs they debuted on the fall 2015 tour before they recorded the album. So we heard this in episode 3. So it's pretty similar to the studio version, of course, as noted on the thing. It was debuted 10/23/15 on that European tour, played 121 times. Last played at Ground Up Fest in 2022 on May 8th. So it's been a minute for Go, a song that has been played a lot. And this is the first year that it has not been in regular rotation. So hope it comes back soon because I love this song. But let's get into it.
Let's hear it.
love this bass line.
Yeah, I remember that on the show we listened to. He said that, Michael said
Doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah, some new shit.
Ooh. Different synth strings because no one's credited on Mellotron on this one.
It's like so much going on, but it's working really well.
Yeah. Really feels like orchestral level horns on this.
Yeah.
That watch trumpet. It is. What a fantastic idea. Someone making noises in the background.
Sounds like someone's like going
Grunting.
Yeah, they're into it.
Yeah. Agreed. Should get as much love as we like it here. Ooh. A little bit of church from Corey at the end there. That was cool. You're muted.
I'm muted this whole time. Sorry, I've been worrying about my dog. Yeah, that is so cool. The organ at the end there, it's just like beautiful. So pretty. The drums, that song is so sick.
Yeah. I can't get enough of that Justin Stanton ending synth solo there. It was just like just so beautiful and soaring. Jake Funkmayer, great point. That's like they took the orchestral learnings from Silva and applied them to a studio album. Absolutely. This is a full this is the big band orchestra sound really coming to life in their music in this song especially.
Yeah,
So
it feels like at the end they're playing like they're just one big organism in the way that an orchestra is. It's really cool. And the voices that we were kind of talking about hearing,
yeah,
it almost feel like you're like overhearing or listening in on like a jam session. It gives this kind of intimacy that I think is super, super cool.
really
And
cool.
one thing I was thinking about too is that one thing I noticed when they played live, and you can hear this too, is this whole band is able to just turn on a dime. Instantly, they can just start a totally new section, like full steam ahead. So cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, our next tune, very rarely played one. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to this song. The Simple Life by Bob Lanzetti. It has only been played live twice.
Wow.
Twice. 5/10/16 and 1/1/17, which was another like part of a Fish run. I think they did a couple of nights in New York. 2 years in a row. So they should do that again. Hi,
If they
Snarky
do that
Puppy, if you're
again,
listening.
we'd be so busy. That'd be so
we'd be
fun.
there.
Yeah,
we'd
we'd
be
be
there.
so there. We could like live podcast or something.
I mean, I feel like going from Fish to a late night Snarky Puppy concert would be like, I feel like we'd be a bit too tired at that point to podcast, but
Oh, Ryan, come on, we
you
could
never
do
know.
it.
But, you know, maybe not a ton of people have probably listened to this song a lot, kind of falls through the cracks. So I'm excited to react to this the same as you. Shout out to Bob Lanzetti, who wrote this song. I'm excited to hear The Simple Life. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Cool how the pacing on this album kind of goes all over the place, right? Like this
Yeah.
isn't. Ooh.
I like this. Yeah.
Ooh. That almost sounds like Beatles here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like really psychedelic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Bob Lanzetti. That's sick.
Oh my God.
Rock and roll, man.
I dig that a
Wow,
lot.
that was awesome.
That was sweet.
That was really cool. That was really funky and like rock and rollish, a little like psychedelic. And
Yeah.
one thing I loved about the show that I just saw, and I won't go too into it, but the Empire Central sounds are kind of dark, some of them. And like some of the songs are pretty dark and like have this big like monster sound. And that kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
was cool.
definitely. It was Sebastian. It was May 10th, 2016, and January 1st, 2017. This song was played. But wow, like great
Bring
tune.
that back.
Underrated.
Bring
Bring it back.
Yeah,
Listen,
bring it back.
1117 was the last time Skate You was played before it was busted out on this past tour. So anything can happen.
Could happen.
Anything can happen. Next up, we've got the Marcelo Wolowski composition Palermo. Palermo. I don't know if
don't say it like that,
right.
Ryan. Just say Palermo.
Palermo. I'm not cut out for rolling my R's properly, even
No,
though I do know how to speak very little French. But anyway, this song. Well, I'm Canadian. You learn French. This was debuted on March 7th, 2016. It was played 59 times, most recently July 5th, 2022. So last year, there were a couple of these tunes. This one and the next one were both played on their July Europe Festival tour last year, which is really interesting to see kind of how they mixed up a couple of the set lists in there. But let's dive into this one.
Some crazy things being played by Marcelo on this. A donkey jaw.
A donkey jaw. And claps. Also just effects. I wonder what effects.
Kalimba. Tang tang maracas. This can sound more like world music again, right?
Yeah. All the way from France.
That's awesome. Au revoir.
Good one.
The percussion's really interesting. That's cool.
No one's credited as playing piano on this song.
Yeah, I was just looking for the piano.
That's interesting.
I'm looking for it. I'm like, where
Probably
is it?
Bill. That's funny. Love the organ.
Good.
claps.
Yeah.
Back.
Oh yeah, it's like really far away sounding. It's cool. That's really beautiful. I like this build up.
Thank you, Jake, for this trivia.
Ooh.
Palermo is a
I
neighborhood
went
in
there.
Buenos Aires where Marcelo was from.
Oh, that's pretty ending.
Nice. That I really like that song.
I do too. There's like that tribal percussion, and then it's kind of like the piano and the organ put on top of that. Snarky Puppy is so good at like putting instruments on top of each other that sound very different. Like some sound really like elegant and sophisticated, and some are really like, a clap or like, something that's really like tribal or primitive sounding, but they're able to make it work together in a way that I don't hear very often.
Yeah, and Marcelo's other composition that's on Empire Central, Portal, also has that kind of movie soundtrack feel. Very like
Yeah.
sweeping,
Yeah.
like grand, if you will, like like
Epic.
over a lush landscape as the camera pans. It's like
Yeah.
plays this.
Totally. Yeah.
All right,
He's
we've
great.
got our
Like,
final track of the album, our
ooh.
second last track of the day. I have a special bonus thing after this, but this is my favorite song on Culcha Vulcha. Big
Okay.
Ugly, Michael League. There's a reason it's the closer. It's just amazing. I don't want to oversell it. Criminally underplayed only 27 times from April 22nd, 2017. Last played last July, 7/11/22. Very, very underplayed. It was only played once in 2019, and then not played again until 7/11/22. Not that there were a ton of shows in between those,
Right.
but only once in 2019, a show where they maybe I think only once, a show where they played like 180 shows or something like that, and they only played this once. Everyone's fave, yes, because it's amazing. So without further ado, let's hit play. So this is just a key bass song. Michael's playing key bass.
There's such like a building of tension.
Yeah. Great percussion on this part too.
Yeah.
Effective violin.
Is that what that is? That sounds cool. Rock is amazing.
Yeah. So cool. And nutrition. Love this riff.
Yeah. Gotta love those synths.
Yeah. Layers of them.
Yeah.
Man, I love that song.
It's really romantic. There's just such a soulfulness to it. It's really rich. I'm surprised it's not played more because there's a lot
Me
of like
too.
opportunity for everybody to kind of shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blame Michael, I guess, for not playing it more. I don't know. It's so good, and I mean, like, sometimes they have the guitar take the ending solo, sometimes the
Mm.
synth, like, so there's some great versions of it. But yeah, man, I absolutely love this song. That back half when it after the horn or the violin solo, when it like goes down quiet with just the bass line and then builds layer upon layer back
Yeah.
up to the triumphant ending. It's just, I mean, I
Yeah.
love
Some
it so
really,
much.
really nice peaks at the end.
Yes. So now that we've reached the end of the album, what was your favorite song?
I think I'm torn between Gemini and let me see. Let me look at the other ones here. I really liked the let me see. The was it the Bob Lanzetti song?
Oh yeah, The Simple Life.
Yeah, I really liked that one too.
Mm.
And the other the really quiet one. Let me look at the list here.
Beatbox.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like that one too.
All right, I love it. Well, we're going to be
Yeah.
seeing more of these songs, except for The Simple Life, of course. But we're going to be seeing more of these songs as we get into the next few episodes. Before we go, a special treat, because I realized I had this video file on my computer already.
Fun.
A very excellent live version of Grown Folks that I said I was going to send you later. That we are going to take a quick watch of now. Give you a little
Awesome.
taste of what this song is like live. This is
Okay.
probably my second favorite version of it that I've heard, just to preface. My favorite we will be talking about is the bonus track in episode 6.
Ooh,
Okay,
fun.
here we go.
Okay.
This is from summer 2018 festival in France. A little faster,
Yeah.
Wrong note there. A very rare flub. I love the way the organ sounds here. Justin does a crazy run here. The dab always gets me.
Always. That's good.
Yeah. It's interesting here because this is a tour where Bobby didn't have any effects on the clav. So the clean clav sounds like it's really cool here, but it's very different from the normally very distorted one.
Yeah.
We get some really good faces from Michael.
Yeah, I love it.
Also. Nate's contributions here are very subtle, but like just the constant like tambourine really adds a nice touch to it.
Yeah, it is subtle. Don't choke.
Excuse me for choking on my water.
This festival looks awesome, by the way. I want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, just it's these European summer festivals.
Ugh. So delicate.
The build is amazing.
Ugh.
Sounds a bit like he's using a slide here, which is really cool. But it's just it's the whammy bar.
Oh, I see him with it.
Here's the Michael.
Here's the dance, yeah. This song is just like in no hurry to go anywhere.
Right,
You know? It's
yeah.
just like taking their time.
Well, it's that kind of groove too. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
hang out. But it's very subtly building.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Bobby's organ playing in this solo.
Yeah.
This is Snarky Pop. And just the drop.
Yeah, baby.
Just goes for it. A lot of notes.
I love that underlying. So good.
Yeah. Sean gets proper credit for this solo.
He should. He's amazing.
Yeah. Very fast.
Yeah.
So good.
That was awesome.
So good. So good. Man, I love that song.
Yeah. It's really great. It's fun to see them. I love watching them play live. It's just
Yeah.
a totally different experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go, we had a question. If we're going to talk about the bonus song, Hefe, we mentioned at the beginning, I believe, that and the other bonus song, Shark Tank. We are not talking about today. Those, unfortunately, Hefe is one of those other songs that was only played live a few times, and I want to save that for when we do talk about it eventually, which will probably be in like season 2 or something. But we're going to save that because it's a pretty awesome song, and I want to save your reaction for that specific live version. Okay. So that's why. And Shark Tank was not on any release of the album. I think it was a separate CD, just recorded in the same sessions, but that one was the other song played a handful of times in the fall of 2015 before the album was recorded.
Cool.
Yes. So that brings us to the end of this live reaction. Thank you to all the people who have tuned in to watch. This has been a lot of fun. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed too, Megan.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah, thank you. I love when people are in the chat. So fun too. So thank you for watching and for commenting.
Of course. Well, if I take a quick look, we're going to be doing another one of these sometime in late June or early July.
Okay.
As
cool.
we get ready to dive into the next era of the band, which is the Immigrants era. So we will be doing a live listen to the full album Immigrants in a couple of months. So stay tuned for that. Of course, as I mentioned a couple of times already, episode 4 of Things of Gold, covering 11/22/15, just came out today. Listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. It's a great episode and a fantastic show, which you can listen to or purchase from nugs.net. Highly recommend you listen to the Disco Lingus.
Yeah.
To learn more about what Disco Lingus is, go listen to the podcast.
Nice work, Ryan. Thanks, everyone. So fun.
Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day and night, or whatever time zone you may be in, or whenever you may be watching or listening to this.